You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest.
Welcome back.
Blake Vartanian's in the house. Realty Pro 100, welcome.
Thank you, Ron, and that music always takes me back.
Yeah, we're going to have to find another one. We have to mix it up a little bit, and eventually I'll get to finding it. I'm just a little bit slow, maybe a lot bit slow. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any more finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are no operators standing by. I am it.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save that number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, of course, we are celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Some days are a little better than others, but today one night might not be too bad. National Park Service Founders Day. National Secondhand Wardrobe Day. I don't have to worry about that one because I get my wardrobe at the tent store. That's just a different story, though. Kiss and Makeup Day. Being that it's an all-male group today, we're not going kiss and makeup. That ain't happening. So let's continue on. Whiskey Sour Day. Okay, that was not bad. And, of course, I've talked about this many, many times. So I have beaten anorexia. Whiskey Sour is not bad. I used to drink a lot of Jack Daniels in my day. But today also happens to be National Banana Split Day. So I think we know where we're heading on this one. Pretty simple. But I am looking ahead because Saturday is Red Wine Day. So I'm just, I'm getting ready. Maybe I got a little bit of jitters here going, waiting for that one. But I got a nice red wine cabinet and a little bit of stock on hand. Let's take a look at the markets right now. Dow Jones up 119 points. S&P 500 is up 12.44. NASDAQ up 14.79. Oil finally, holy cow, it's only up 31 cents a barrel today. We've been watching oil going crazy lately, so right now it's only up 31 cents a barrel, so that's not too bad. Should we look or should we not at what's happening on the gas price front? Well, it's something, we can't have everything great. We know we've had whiskey sour, we've had a banana split. Now we're looking at gas prices. So I got to bring things back a little bit. So as I do every day, and we get to start off with our tremendous underwriter. So gas prices in Laurie's state, $2.81 a gallon. If you think I am envious, that would be a very fair assessment because $2.81 is a long shot from what we're paying here going a little bit further west. Our producer, Josh, $4.05 a gallon. That's still a little unpleasant, especially national average, $3.15. And right here in our state of Calizuela, in the state of confusion, we are paying $4.39 a gallon. Ow! $4.39 a gallon. So don't feel bad, Josh. At $4.05, you're not too bad. Here, and you know, I was going to say that I go to Hawaii and get gas, but now they don't even want us there, right? $4.07 a gallon in Hawaii, and they're saying, you know, if you don't have to be here, don't come. I don't know why. Maybe they don't like mainlanders, or they're worried about the virus or something along those lines. Let's move right along and see what else is going on, because if anything I say about the virus could get us banned from some of these social platforms, so I don't want to get us banned, so I won't say too much. Although I did notice, you ready for this one? I don't even know how you get away with this. Probably in California, I don't know if you can get away with this, you know, because we are a unique state. But California would have a dilemma here, because Delta Airlines, did you read this one or see this one? Delta Airlines now, if you are a Delta Airline employee and you are not vaccinated, they're going to charge you an extra $200 for your health insurance, $200 a month extra on your health insurance. Now, can you imagine California saying employees have to pay extra, especially union employees paying extra money for anything in California, unless it's going right to the union bosses? They don't pay for anything at the unions other than to the, well, I shouldn't say that, I'll get in trouble. Right to the union bosses. I don't care. What the heck. Let's keep on moving on, see what else is going on. Hey, we've got a lot to talk about today in Problem Solver segment. So yesterday, I think we chatted a little bit about our mobile app that we have for everybody. And I had a lot of questions about that. So if you have not downloaded the mobile app, then I should have a sheet of paper in front of me telling me all about the mobile app if I was prepared for a radio broadcast. But hey, you know something? Sometimes, especially when I've got certain guests coming on the program, I get to sleep a little later, have an extra cup of coffee. I don't have to get everything as prepared. I should, but I don't. But the mobile app, right? So you've got the app does everything for you. You get a direct contact. Now, here's an issue on the mobile app, and you know, I might even ask for Blake's opinion on this one, because he's been in business. I'm gonna use this line on you before I use it on anybody else, Blake. You're in your 5th decade.
Yes, I know.
I mean, when you say how many years, that's one thing. But when you say he's in his 5th decade, now that's a whole different story right there. But when you got into business, I'm guessing that there were telephones in, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, I got mine from Alexander Graham Bell myself.
So we want to start right there. But if you remember back then, we had something at almost every business, every place you called. It was called a receptionist.
Yes.
Right? They answered the phone.
Yes.
You actually spoke to a human when you called a business.
Absolutely.
Right? Now, how often do you speak to a human when you call a business? You get voicemail, you get that, and I hate it, the voice tree. God forbid you get that voice tree and you get stuck in there. I used to have a cheat sheet way back when of all the major companies and what the bypass code was for their cheat sheet. So here's a new one. We're going to have a button. Our app does have a one-touch button to get right to our team or your real estate professional. And we've just charged our producer, Josh. We gave him a little extra work. He has a lot of time on his hands, right? So we said to him the other day, let's get an answering service. So if we don't answer the phone on the 3rd ring, it goes right to a human being to answer the phones for. Remember the days of answering services?
Yeah, I actually got requested to sign up with one yesterday, and I said, I don't know.
Yeah, so
it seems so antiquated, but it was very helpful when we had them.
Yeah, it's antiquated, but you know, here's the question I have for you, Blake. Do you get mail at home?
I do, and I even mail bills through the mail still.
Oh, you're probably the last one that does that. Right?
Maybe like 1 or 2 a month. It's not a lot. You know?
I was going to say 1 or 2 people in the world that do that, right? But here's the issue: is think about this. How many? I know I've got a 26-year-old at home, and he loves getting the mail. Not that he gets much mail, but when he does, he's thrilled, right? And nobody really gets mail anymore. So when you get a piece of mail, you're unique. Now, here's the other side of it. What if you're the one sending the mail? What if you're the only one that actually answers phones when people call? Right? What if your team, if you push this button on the app and you get to talk to a human being, right? Heaven forbid. Right, but that's the idea here. So the app has that right on there. Not only the mortgage payment for everybody and your home search, you never have to go to another one of those websites that are trying to sell you something. Right on your app, you can get a search for any homes in the area that you're looking for. All right there on the app. So I just wanted to throw that out there, remind you about that. And I will also remind you about a brand new program. Now, this is so new that I had to create the form, and it doesn't look pretty. I'm the first to admit it. You know, I like to get things done quick. I am a firm believer in getting things done and worrying about making them pretty later. Obviously, I am not the pretty one on the team. But here's the idea. Do you have that? Do you have debt, household debt? I know you do. So many people do. Very few households have no debt, right? But what if there was a program? What if there was a program that would guarantee to get you out of debt? You got to follow the rules in 10 years or less. Do you think that would be interesting? Do you think that would be of interest? Now, I don't know if you qualify for the program. That's a big question mark right there. I never know that part of it. But if you qualify for this program, you're out of debt in 10 years or less, guaranteed. Think about that. What would your life be like with no debt? Where you could actually build for your retirement? You could actually go on vacation without putting everything on the credit card or pay the credit card off as soon as you get home. Fill out the quick application. It takes about 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com, or you can text RSRNoDebt to 79564, RSRNoDebt to 79564. So it's a new program that we're rolling out. You are the very first to hear about it. Ironically enough, it would probably make more sense if I did things properly to tell my team about it. I haven't even told them about it. All right, so they're looking in the background. Josh is saying, what the heck is he up to this time? Right, but it's normal. I do that on a regular basis to them. Hey, we got a great program lined up for you today. We've got a changing real estate market, and Blake Vartanian is going to tell us about it. We're going to learn why 2021 is still the year to sell your house. We've got a featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, shame on you. But the replay is available. Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Building your future wealth starts now. Take action and put your money to work for you instead of working for your money. Are you sitting on $100,000 of home equity? Realty Pro 100 has your solution. Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program may increase your net worth by $50,000 to $75,000 or more per year. Learn more about the Realty Pro 100 Wealth Builder program by texting My Wealth Builder to 79564. Text My Wealth Builder to 79564. License DRE 02059058.
Blue Water Credit Repair is the industry leader in fixing bad credit. Did you know a 40-point increase in your credit score can save you $40,000 on a home loan and $4,000 on a car loan? You deserve good credit and peace of mind. Take the first step today and go to bluewatercredit.com and register for a free consultation from one of their credit repair experts. That's bluewatercredit.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit RonSiegelRadio.com. Are you a military veteran, first responder, doctor, nurse, or teacher? If so, then you're a Ron Siegel VIP hero and you may qualify for rewards up to $5,000 to $10,000 when you buy, sell, or refinance a home with a Ron Siegel radio partner. As a valued VIP hero, you receive special savings, rebates, and valuable discounts. Learn more by calling me, Ron Siegel, at 1-800-306-1990 or visit VIPHeroProgram.com. It's just our way of saying thank you.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Dow Jones Industrial Average up now 130 points. S&P 500 is up 13. The NASDAQ is up 12.34. 10-year Treasury is up 4 basis points. Mortgage-backed securities, the bond itself is down 8 basis points, which means interest rates are up. Totally illogical. Just because, well, the only logic here is you can't fight the Fed. That's the only logic in this whole chaotic mess. Why? Well, when you see the turmoil that's going on over in the Middle East right now, normally in a normal market, money would be flowing into bonds. And that would push the bond price down, which means the interest rate would go up. Well, the bond price, would push the bond price up. Pushes the bond price up because more demand for it. And the interest rate goes down. But right now we're seeing that the 10-year Treasury is up. I wonder why that would be. Well, the Federal Reserve is the one buying it. So think about this. When you see the U.S. 10-year Treasury and the bond price is going down, that's because no one wants it. Interesting thought right there. Why does nobody want U.S. bonds except the Federal Reserve of the United States? Now, what is the Federal Reserve of the United States? Yeah, they say that it's independent, but the Federal Reserve is part of the government. The U.S. Treasury is part of the government. They're separate branches of the government. So in essence, if you were to compare this, and I'm just a simple man, my wife and I, we share everything, right? We've got one bank account. Or we've got multiple bank accounts, but we're all on every one of them. So if we were to say, okay, I'm going to go charge stuff on my credit card because I have no money, and my wife says, okay, I'm going to pay the bill. That's the same concept when the Treasury goes out and spends money, and the Federal Reserve then goes and buys the debt. Right? Think about it. It doesn't make any sense, but that's what's going on right now. That's why, and no one else in the world apparently wants the U.S. debt. We'll see why. Mortgage Bankers Association released their mortgage application data for the week ending August 20th, showing that overall application volume increased by 1.6%. Applications to purchase a home were up 3%. Refinances increased by 1%. Durable goods orders, which reflects new orders placed with domestic manufacturers for delivery of factory hard goods, was released for the month of July. New orders increased by 0.1%, which is above expectations of a 0.2% loss. Takeout transportation, it increased by 0.7%, which is above the 0.5% estimate, and core capital goods remain flat. So that's that one. Let's see what else is on there. Here's another fascinating story. Now, only the logic of the government. So I've told you for a few weeks now that in the end of August, the Federal Reserve has an influential meeting every year in Jackson Hole. So, and we usually see some pretty interesting and market-moving data that comes out of this meeting. Now, the Federal Reserve is having their Jackson Hole meeting, How you do it this way, I don't know, but the Jackson Hole meeting is virtual. So wouldn't it just be called a virtual meeting? How do you have a Jackson Hole meeting that's virtual? I don't know, but that's what the Federal Reserve is doing. I did send a question there. They don't listen to little simple guys like me. I want to know if you have to wear a mask to your Zoom meeting. I just want to know that. I know that the president says he probably thinks you do, but I'm just throwing that out there. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, any type. Yes, if you're a business owner, we've got the specialized programs. We've got a COVID relief program. We've got the FHA, VA, USDA, conventional jumbo, you name it. Geneva's got it. Call them 800-306-1990 or go to the website. Here's a new, I like this one, Blake. The website, the newest website that we've added, 800-306-1990.com. Even I can remember that one. 800-306-1990.com. It'll get you right over to the Geneva website. So Blake Vartanian is in the house. We're going to chat something. We haven't talked about this one in a long time, maybe even years or decades. I've been doing radio for 11 years, Blake. I'm not sure that we've had to deal with a changing market.
Isn't that crazy?
That's just amazing.
We've gone through such an unprecedented upward cycle. It may have stalled out a little bit here and there along the way, but it's the first time in the 40 plus years that I've been in the real estate profession that I've seen a run this long of appreciation and consistent low interest rates.
So are you predicting depreciation in real estate?
I'm not necessarily predicting that in the short run. A lot of this depends on the supply. So what could happen is if the mortgage moratorium, this is pure speculation, of course, if the mortgage moratorium were to end and people were to start losing their homes in foreclosure, that could, or face the potential of foreclosure, that could drive the supply really high overnight or virtually overnight, causing a flood of inventory as people try to capture the highest price they can get because they've waited as long as they can possibly wait. So
explain what you mean by a mortgage moratorium. You can't get a mortgage anymore?
So that's a great question. So we go back to during COVID, the CDC and several other government policymakers determined that people could live in their homes for a period of time without making their mortgage payment. There's been extensions to that have been challenged in courts and some cases overturned even by the U.S. Supreme Court, and the government goes ahead and does the moratorium anyways. And that's what we're seeing right now.
What would happen to you and me if we ignored the U.S. Supreme Court?
Boy, it's an unprecedented time when it comes to people exercising authority that is beyond the scope of what was traditionally understood and respected.
So we've got a chart here, and I'm not going to share the chart, but if you're watching during our commercial breaks, it actually pops up on the screen. And it talks about the forbearance programs that are available or that are in existence through July 11th. That's the latest data we had, July 11th of 2021. And if you watched our show, our millennial show, right? So we talked about this on the millennial show, that of the people that went into forbearance, 44.1% were paid in full, 38.7% worked out a repayment plan, 17.2% were still in trouble, 10.7% had modifications, 15.7% no plan at all, 1.5% repayment plan, short sales or deed. So they're basically saying there's going to be 1.5% of those people that went in are going to go through a short sale or a deed in lieu. It's pretty, it's not a massive number. I mean, we feel bad for every individual for sure. But do you think it's going to be worse than what some of these numbers are predicting or forecasting?
Well, I think part of the problem is, the employment, underlying employment matters a lot, right? If people can't afford their mortgages, there comes a time when they have to make a decision.
Sure.
If they want to remain in control of what happens with the equity that's in the property. So it's hard.
That's a big issue right there.
Right.
Right.
So most people, unless they've refied multiple times over the last 10 years have had a huge run up in the valuation of their property based on the low supply that has typically been available, the low interest rates that have driven up the ability for people to put down low down payments or reasonable market down payments and still have an affordable payment based on historical percentages to income. So when you look at a shifting market, it doesn't have to shift a lot to cause people to question whether or not they should be the next person to pay the next highest price. So the way I describe it is, right now what we're seeing is in the springtime, we saw most offerings were snapped up within hours of coming on the market with up to 20 or 30 offers over 72 hours. Now we're seeing properties come on the market and they're selling on 1, 2, 3, maybe 5 offers. There are exceptions, of course, in 72 hours to a week. And some properties are actually coming on the market and having no activity at all, which we haven't seen that in a long time. And it's pockets in isolated areas, but it's not unfamiliar to those of us who have been in the market for a long period of time.
So the people that really know what they're doing have seen this before.
Right.
And there's people that got into the industry because they said, wow, there's a lot of money to be made. It's a get rich quick program.
Yeah.
Right. Think about that concept. We're going to continue our conversation with a shifting market with Blake Vartanian when we come back, Realty Pro 100, why 2021 is still the year to sell your house. And oh, yes, we've got a featured home brought to you by my favorite lender.net. All that and more. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
A house in the middle of our street.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564. Do
you own a luxury home or planning to purchase one? If so, your home may be your largest asset, but your mortgage may also be your largest debt. The Siegel Lending Team is offering amazing financing opportunities right now. Jumbo loans up to $2 million, 30-year rates in the 3%, and 15-year rates in the 2s. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com or call me directly. My number is 800-306-1990, licensed under NMLS 217037. Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037 and DRE number 018694452.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, the real-time real estate segment today, being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find your dream home before someone else does. The digest will tell you every single month exactly what the county recorder knows about your property, what the market believes about your property. And it's a gift to you from Ron Siegel Radio. Why 2021 is still the year to sell your house. If you're trying to decide whether or not to sell your house, this is the time to think seriously about making a move. Fannie Mae's recent home purchase sentiment index reveals the number of respondents who say it's a good time to sell is higher now than it was over the past few summers. If you are watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart on the screen right now showing that today the majority of consumers, 75%, say it's a good time to sell a house. Consumers indicating that. So in July 2019, 67% said that. July 2020, only 45% felt it was a good time to sell a house. July 2021, 75% say it's a good time to sell a house. Why? Is seller sentiment up year over year? The higher good time to sell sentiment has to do with today's market conditions, specifically low housing supply and high buyer demand. In the simplest terms, we don't have enough houses available for sale to meet buyer demand. According to the latest data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, we're still firmly in a seller's market because housing supply is well below a balanced norm. Again, we got another graph. Housing supply since 2019. And if you look at there, since 2014, I guess I can't read it. The numbers are big there even. And it says 2014, again, if you're watching us on any of the socials or ABC News and Talk video feed. Since 2014, you're seeing that supply is so far down. It's crazy how far down the numbers are. Clearly, the scales are tipped in a seller's favor today. But while housing supply is undeniably low, the right side of the graph shows how the inventory situation is improving little by little each month as more sellers list their homes for sale. I think that's what we were talking about with Blake Vartanian in the last segment. And I'm not going to repeat it. You have to go watch it on RonSiegelRadio.com. First tab, you'll see the archives, and our shows are there usually by about 6 in the afternoon. As a seller, that means each month buyers have more options to pick from. By extension, that means your house may get less buyer attention with time. Danielle Hale, chief economist for Realtor.com, explains it like this. More owners continue to list homes for sale compared to a year ago. Notably, when new listings continue to lag behind a more normal 2019 pace, that gap is shrinking. Even though homes continue to sell quickly, thanks to high demand and limited supply, new listings are subtly shifting the balance of market conditions in favor of buyers. So what's that mean for you? If you've been waiting for the perfect time to sell, there may not be a better chance than right now. Inventory is gradually increasing each month, so selling sooner rather than later will help you maximize your home's potential. Bottom line, as always, give me a call at 800-306-1990. Let's chat about the game plan that's right for you. Again, that is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Text SLT Home Digest to 79564. Find that dream home before someone else does. Going to continue our conversation. Blake Vartanian is our guest today, and we are chatting about a changing market. Wonder how much it's changing, and is it changing for the better? We're not going to get to that one a little bit later in the broadcast. Is it better or not? And, we never know that answer, but Question I would have based on our conversation in the last segment, Blake, you're talking about properties may not get any activity. Is that because they're priced wrong, or is it because the seller says, well, the last house on the street sold for $800,000. That means Ron told us the prices are up 9%. That means I got to put mine up for $875.
So what happens, Ron, is that when somebody looks at an MLS sheet or
that's the multiple listing
service or the public data on Redfin or Zillow or any other website,
RonSiegelRadio.com on the mobile app.
Right.
Yeah, just throw that in there.
I'm just talking in general,
Right.
across the whole spectrum, that they see a price, but that's not the final sales price.
Okay.
So if that let's say the house was they were asking $650,000 in the most recent cycle, and there were multiple bidders, and they bid the price up to $690,000 or $700,000, which we saw a lot of those examples. So when the sale becomes an actual comparable and now is closed, and it becomes the new market value, the buyer's perspective is still, I saw it sold at $650,000 because that's what they were looking at when they saw the pending, because that's the information that's provided at that time. And then suddenly there's a $50,000 jump, and their reaction time takes time to absorb. And for some people, it might knock them out of the market for that particular property, because they can't qualify to get a mortgage or don't have the underlying ability to buy that house.
You're talking about the buyer now.
The buyer now.
Okay.
So the buyer sets the perception of the market, because if the buyer decides that they're not going to pay the next highest price, then that is a change that's shifting in the marketplace, because whether reality or perception, the buyer's willingness to pay for the next price determines the market. So if everyone in the market says, I'm going to go after that one house, you have thousands of people bidding for that house.
Sure.
But in reality, we only have maybe 15, 20, 25 people who would actually be interested in potentially purchasing that house. And if they all back off and say no, now you have no activity, no action, because it's not the entire market that judges the valuation of that property at that time. It's those few people who are interested in potentially in buying it.
It's the actual buyers who are there, as opposed to
the neighbors and everything else is telling you the house should sell for that.
Sure,
they're not buying it. So this every situation is fluid, and this is the part that most sellers and agents don't discuss, because this is very important. Positioning is, if there's a shift in the market, you want to be the next person to sell, because you don't want someone else with a lot of equity to undercut your valuation. So I can give you an example of a property that we brought on a couple months ago in Irvine. We brought it onto the market, and we brought it on at $999,000, and there was no other property on the market under $1 million in that market. But somebody listed and sold their property for $960,000 just days after we came on the market. So what do you think that did to our seller's position?
Made it a little tighter.
Made it tough. And that property was actually really fixed up. And
the one that was sold.
The one that came on the market after we came on the market.
So did that come on the market after you, or did it close? It was on the market, you didn't know what it sold for, like you were explaining earlier, and then the sell price came on afterward.
So it basically came on the market within a day or two of ours.
So now those are two properties competing for the same
against
buyer.
each other, but they took the initiative of selling it for $45,000 or $50,000 under their asking price, which was surprising, because we saw it penned, but we didn't know when it pended that it was actually on a short close, and it actually recorded within a few days after. So it was a very quick sale, and it showed up as now a comparable. So when buyers came along, they said, well, that person just paid $960. Why would I pay $999 for that property?
And nobody really knows the answer to that, because it could be that it was a distressed sale. It was they had to move quickly, so they sold it to an investor for cash or something along those lines. But the market doesn't know those answers.
Right. None of us do.
Right.
So unless you're a party to the transaction, that's not public information. So you want to stay in control of your asset. So if you're the next person to act, you're in control. If someone else is the one who beats you to it, and they decide to, let's say as an example, in my first week in the real estate business back in the spring of 1982, when I went full time, my broker walked in with a contract where he paid $27,000 for a $54,000 valuation on a house because the people needed the cash to pay off a tax lien. And he told me, this is why you're in the real estate business. So that became the new comp for the neighborhood. It dropped 50% from one sale to the next, at least temporarily. Because
there were a lot of unhappy people.
Yeah, I'm sure there were.
Sure.
But distress sales happen all the time.
And we don't think about that because we only thought a lot of people didn't realize that until 2009 that there was such a thing as a distress sale.
And a lot of people think that the next sale has to be for more money. Well, the next buyer may not agree with that.
And we already know what the fair market value is of every property.
Yeah, and I think the reality is sellers naturally want the highest price for a property.
Sure.
But when they become the buyer, they don't necessarily want to pay the next highest price.
Which is why you really need to have great counsel, great guidance.
Right.
And Blake's in the real estate world. I'm just a guy doing a little radio here and there in the lending side. And you got to have a great realtor to work with. Right. I know you could go out and put a sign up in the front yard and it was easy to sell a house a month ago, 2 months ago, 4 months ago. In a changing market, you might need to know what you're doing. Just throw that out there for you. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, we are going to chat about our featured home brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. And we're going to continue our conversation with Blake Vartanian about the changing market. And I'll share with you a little bit more about the debt relief program that we've got. Yeah, it's rsrnodebt.com, rsrnodebt.com. We'll talk about all that and more. You can reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at RonIsMyLender.com. That's RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Do you believe Southern California real estate is a great investment? Are you a little short to be a cash investor? Are you missing the Social Security card or tax returns? The Siegel Lending Team has the loans for you. Common Sense Lending is back. Yes, there's a cost to higher risk, but the reward can be great. Call today for details. 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 217037 and DRE number 1869452.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990. 800-306-1990. The featured home is being brought to you by our myfavoritelender.net, myfavoritelender.net 1965. Turquoise Circle, Chino Hills. Some hills somewhere. Right? 1965 Turquoise Circle, Chino Hills. It is our friend John Perez has this listing, first team. And something new, we haven't heard too much about this in the last year or so. Open house on the 29th. That's Sunday. And don't miss out on this beautiful 3-bedroom Summit Ranch home. Curb appeal and interior of this house are what you've been looking for. I knew that. Approaching the property, you're greeted by a grass area, walkway, and a porch with a front door that faces north. Upon entering the home, you are greeted by a happy greeter on a tiled entry, a beautiful open air floor plan with great natural lighting and a cathedral ceilings. The great room combination of the living room, dining room, and kitchen is the open floor plan that is highly desirable for entertainment. Look at all that. $779,000 is the list price. Now let's look at some financing options on that. Wow, look at these pictures. If you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv or any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you can see the pictures of this property. It's a nice looking property. 10% down, you're looking at $3,051 a month, principal and interest only. With 20% down, you're looking at $2,712 a month. And with 25% down, strategically speaking, $2,385 per month. Again, those are principal and interest only. You must add your taxes, your insurance. There is an HOA on this. If there's any mortgage insurance, got to add all that to get to your total monthly payment. And as always, for the people that are keeping score, compliance folks, I know you're there. APRs 3.469, 3.304, and 2.963, and MLS 217037. Nice property, 1965 Turquoise Circle, Chino Hills. Open house on Sunday, listed by our friend John Perez at $779,000. First team real estate, that's the featured home. Brought to you by myfavoritelender.net. Continue our conversation. Blake Vartanian, Realty Pro 100, is our guest today. And we're talking about, we had a chalkboard. We'd really be dating ourselves, Blake. I think we use whiteboards nowadays, but if we had a chalkboard, we could actually be chalking, but right now we're just talking. Easy for me to say. But we're talking about a shifting real estate market. So are you seeing properties fall out of escrow right now, being that people, because one of the things you made a comment, and it's, we don't think about it, is we list properties, or you list properties, I don't list properties, but the market properties are listed, and the list price of the property that goes up for sale is generally based on what the competition or appearance of the competition, our whatever, our belief of what the competition is, right? So if I've got a house that's $800,000 in my neighborhood, it's up for $790. I've got to look and say, okay, well, 790s, I got to be 800, 780, something like that, depending on what I think my value is and what my professional tells me. And then that one closes or goes into escrow. Now, it was listed at 790. I have no idea what it went into escrow at.
Right.
It used to be that 790 was a starting point, and we would negotiate downward. Right now, lately, 790 has been kind of like the auction, the starting price. You go upward. But now, if I'm the next guy on the block and I say, well, that's at 790, I really have no clue where I should put my property.
It is definitely there's some speculation, guesstimation, just kind of a evaluation of the overall market. And I always say you're better off to put your property on the market too low and have it bid up. Then, because if the value's there, you're going to attract major buyer interest in the marketplace.
Okay, so here's the devil's advocate for you.
Yes.
So, Blake, you just want to list it low so it sells quick and we move on with everybody gets paid and we move on.
No. So I understand the logic behind that, and why somebody would potentially have that motive. In our case, what we want to be able to do is attract as many buyers to the property as possible. See, because when back when I first started selling in real estate, you put your house on the market and maybe a few hundred people found out about it. Now, when you put your house on the market, the entire world finds out about it within moments of it going into the multiple listing service.
Yeah.
So everyone can determine for themselves whether you've overpriced it or not. And if people don't show up, it's really hard for them to get excited and be interested in your property, and highly unlikely they're going to make an offer on it. So what we want to do is have lots of traffic driven to the property and have lots of people seeing other people in the property who they think might be interested in it, because nobody wants anything until somebody wants something, and then everybody wants that one thing.
Have you ever noticed how that happens when there's been no sales in a neighborhood? You're living in your neighborhood and nobody's sold anything, nobody's moved, nothing, and then all of a sudden one person moves and then everybody moves.
Yeah, once one sign goes up, it's oftentimes you see 5 or 6 others within a matter of weeks. Not just one or two. It's a very fascinating psychology behind it, which I don't necessarily pretend to understand. I just know that it happens. And so if we look at the real estate philosophies, too many people try to set the next highest price, and only one person's ever going to have the next highest price. So that shouldn't, in my opinion, that shouldn't be the goal. What should be the goal is getting your cash off the table and putting it securely into your account before somebody else undermines your efforts. So the smart money doesn't get greedy. The smart money makes a good, prudent, solid business decision, executes on it, and has a strategy in place to get close to, maybe setting the next highest price. But if you settle for just a little bit less, in this case, a few $1,000s one way or another, but securely in your pocket may be the next best move. Because if somebody does what that last example was, sells their house for literally pennies on the dollar because they've got to for whatever reason, and it's their reason, they have no obligation to you to sell their house for the highest price.
So you hit spot on, Blake, what I was really looking at when I gave you that hypothetical question, put you on the spot there.
Yeah.
I'm sure I'm the first person that's ever asked that.
No,
but
it's good. It's good practice.
Right. But my point really is that I'm trying to find the charts. I usually have a chart for everything, but we have a pyramid somewhere in our stash of charts that really shows how many people look at a property when it's overpriced. You're going to get a significantly lower amount of the population is going to see that property.
Yeah.
When the property is priced below market, you get a significantly greater amount of the population sees that property. And oh, by the way, it always is going to get sold at market value, because if you get people there can see it, right, they're going to start bidding against each other because everybody wants the bargain and then get the better price.
Well, and some of the people who drive the traffic to the property are the real estate agents themselves. So if you undermine their compensation model, you're undermining your own return on your own investment.
Kick yourself in the foot.
Yeah. So, you know, the buyers are going to come that are going to see it on their own. But if you're a real estate agent and you have 3 or 4 highly qualified buyers who have to buy in the short run, just natural behavior would be, we all go to work. We all want to make, you know, some level of income for the money, for the time that we put in our careers. So it's
how we just did this for fun.
Yes. Right. And so it's kind of human nature to believe that.
Josh, we get paid for this. Can you believe that?
The psychology that I've seen is that real estate agents, tend to bring their best buyers to the best compensated properties. And I know it's
that surprises me, Blake. I've never heard that. We're gonna have to continue this conversation about agents doing that. Really amazing information. You want more information from Blake Vartanian? That's good. You know something? It is reality. So it's all part of the strategy that you must employ if you're planning on getting your house sold. And as always, I ask you, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting our house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. A big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.